It might happen during your single walk that you eventually start to feel bitter or resentful about relationship. And that for many reasons. And this is something that we will also cover. But for now, we're going to give you the 10 signs that you are bitter and resentful about relationship. Welcome to the Bees Show.
Welcome to the Bees Show, where we have an interactive living room style discussion to encourage others, share wisdom, and provide insights about life, relationships, marriage, and Jesus. Un, deux, trois! Hello, welcome to the Bees Show. I'm your host, Connor, aka Mr. B.
And I'm your host, Helen, aka Mrs. B.
Today we're going to talk about 10 signs showing that you are bitter and resentful about relationships.
Let's start.
Yeah, you came up with this list, and we're going to go through this and give you stories and background of each part of the list, each topic.
It might happen during your single walk that you eventually start to feel bitter or resentful about relationship. And that for many reasons. And this is something that we will also cover. But for now, we're going to give you the 10 signs that you are bitter and resentful about relationship.
Number 1.
Sign number 1. You can't stand romantic stories. For example, you got upset when you heard about your friend getting engaged, or you get upset when you hear about someone that you know getting married or having babies, or just simply having a new boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah. An ideal situation would be you're happy for them, truly on the inside, not just outwardly, oh, I'm so happy for you, but being fake about it.
Yeah, exactly. And those kind of things happen to everyone. I actually went through a season when I was a single. I was born again for just like 1 or 2 years, and I was also feeling lonely, and I was also feeling like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. Eventually, I was having some friends in church like getting married, getting engaged, and I was like, oh, that's good for you, you know? And then I was like, what about me? And basically, I was just comparing myself, and I was feeling bitter about that because I was like, oh, what about me? You know, I was always like focusing everything towards me. But then later on, when I grew in the Lord, I understood that it's not about me. And I learned to rejoice with those who rejoice.
That's such a good point. It isn't about us. We should wake up loving others, not wanting to receive love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the first sign that you are bitter about relationship. Sign number 2. Go ahead, Connor.
Sign number 2 is that you're judgmental towards the opposite sex. Now, this can very easily happen. Let's say you've been wounded from a past relationship, and you basically negatively criticize all future persons of the opposite sex the same way. For example, all women are like fill in the blank. All men are just ignoramus, bling blob, stupid dabby buttholes.
Signs number 3.
You're angry at the opposite sex. A step up above judgmentalness is you're angry at the opposite sex. It may not be clear to you, but little things inside your heart can show you that you have anger towards the opposite sex. Being angry at the opposite sex can come out in many ways. One way that I know personally is just wanting sex from the female. We're also going to talk about how to overcome all of these in the next podcast. The link is in the description.
Sign number 4. You are constantly complaining that you're single. Yes, you are always complaining and focusing about that. All your focus in your mind when it comes to relationship, you're always saying, yeah, anyway, I'm single. Or wherever you go, you're like, yeah, I'm single. Kind of labeling yourself as if it's your identity. And you complain about this. And the fact that you're complaining about it all the time, it even like nourishes negative thoughts in your mind, and it creates negative mindsets.
Yeah, that leads into
sign number 5. You are not satisfied with being by yourself because you can't stand the fact that you are single and you are comparing yourself to others and you cannot enjoy your own company. So you're bitter towards others and you're also bitter towards yourself.
Yeah, that's a big one. Unforgiveness towards yourself is a big sign that you're also unforgiving towards others.
Sign number 6, you have closed yourself up to people in your life who could help you because of your negative mindset. And that's a big one, actually, because some people could see that something is going wrong with you or that there's something in your heart that needs to be dealt with. And when you're bitter and resentful, oftentimes you shut yourself off of some relationship, right? You want to be just by yourself, and everything, like even people who are bringing some words of encouragement or hope, you don't even want to hear them because you're so bitter inside that you think that the bitterness is your reality. So you don't, like, you're just withdrawing from other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up in that fortress in your mind where you're just alone, and it's actually like a jail.
Sign number 7, you feel like everyone and everything is against you. And just like she was saying about the jail cell, I know a friend who was so unforgiving towards so many people in his life. It started off with just one person and it just escalated. And he said that the unforgiveness made him feel like he had 2 hands tied behind his back in handcuffs. He's locked up. When you're unforgiving towards somebody, it's easy to close yourself off and believe that everybody is against you and start to spiral in those negative mindsets that cause you to believe that everything is against you.
Sign number 8, you don't always acknowledge and appreciate when people are being nice to you. It's as if positive behaviors from other people towards you are too hard for you to handle. It's as if you're only welcoming criticism and only allowing like gossip or anger or bitter to feed your heart.
Yeah.
Sign number 9, the topic of relationship, engagement, marriage, and having a family strikes a chord in you. It's very sensitive. You overreact when you hear about that, or when someone is asking that about your life, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. This is not for me. You're just rejecting that because of that bitterness in your heart and that resentment. And so obviously when this is happening, people can feel like you're hurt. It's because of you have some wounds, and either people can help you or some people will feel sorry, because as long as you don't realize that you need help, you will keep spiraling downward. Yeah. And
yeah, and we talk about that in the next video, how to get honest with yourself.
And sign number 10, this is the last one. You are still staying on things of the past, replaying in your minds the past events that made you bitter about a relationship in the first place. Like, for example, you had breakups, you are unforgiving towards some people, towards an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend that did something to you. You are resentful towards someone that broke a commitment with you, someone who hasn't been faithful to you. And you are playing those things in your mind as if like, this is wrong, I need justice, I desire justice about that, and you are still staying on those things, even maybe it's been many years that those things happened. You're still staying on those things, and it's intoxicating your mind actually.
Thanks for joining us for the 10 signs that showing you whether you are bitter or resentful about relationships. Did any of those signs speak to you? I encourage you, stick around for the next video, and we'll help offer strategies to completely eliminate anger towards the opposite sex, unforgiveness, bitterness, and resentment, that you may live free and walk fully in the destiny that you are meant for.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. And know that if any of those signs, even if it's just one sign that you're like, it speaks to me, well, we invite you to keep listening to our podcast. And we also just want to encourage you that don't worry, you're not alone. There's tons of people struggling with that. And that's why we're making those podcasts, so that we can help people overcoming those things, because we went through those things. Maybe not all the 10 signs, but at least for me, at least 80% of it.
Yeah.
So
120% for me.
So be encouraged, and thank you so much for listening, and thank you for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, to follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.